Hello YouTube. Today we're going to do a little shelter setup video. One thing I've noticed on YouTube is that there's a lot of stuff for one guy surviving out in the woods, but I haven't seen much revolving around a family in a camping, survival, bug out, whatever kind of situation. So I want to do a shelter setup for a family size shelter. In our case, we got a family of 5, me and my wife and our 3 children, and but I think that that needs to be addressed because everything changes and multiplies when you're dealing with a larger group, maybe even a larger group of adults or a family with children. So we've got our this is a Chinook tarp right here. It's called a guide tarp. It's 14 foot by 12 foot, and this is a lightweight nylon tarp. And then we've got just a cheapo 8 by 10 for a ground cloth here. And somebody's going to say, oh well, real men don't use ground cloths, and or something of that nature. Well, here in the swamp of South Carolina, all those real men are covered with ticks and chiggers when they wake up in the morning. So we're going to go ahead and use a ground cloth because of where we're at. If I was maybe in a different area, might save that extra 1 pound 2 ounces of weight in my pack, but it's a necessity here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to roll this tarp out here. And as you can see, pick the spot that has natural tie-offs here to tie this tarp to. So we're going to fold it out. One thing with these tarps have 2 sides. The outside has a UV resistant coating on it. I'm not really sure if the inside does. If you use one of these a whole lot, it's important to try to get it right side out. Not to mention also that this tarp has a center tie on the outside of it, which is not on the inside. So that's common sense, just something to think about. So we're going to unfurl our tarp here. This is just going to be a quick, simple, very basic shelter setup here we're doing. Nothing fancy, nothing real primitive. We might just get to some primitive setup videos at some point in time, but not today. So we got some 1/4 inch nylon. I like that more for the center line. It's got a little bit more weight. It's easier to throw up over a tree branch or something like that. It's got a little bit less dynamic. It doesn't stretch quite as much as the paracord. There's static cordage and dynamic cordage. Paracord is a dynamic cordage. It's made to stretch rather than to break. It's got a lot of give in it. If you ever try to use paracord, for instance, for a bowstring, paracord will really stretch a lot. You've got to constantly tighten it. This is also somewhat of a dynamic cordage, but this is diamond braided cordage here. It's a lot more of a static line, not entirely a static line, but it's a lot less stretchy than this paracord. So I like that for my center line on my shelters a little bit better, and I just carry a few feet of this. We don't have, we can see maybe 15 feet, not too much. But we're going to use paracord for everything else. We've got about 75 feet of paracord here. So we're going to start out on our bottom side of our shelter, which would be this side. We've got a tree right here. So we're just going to go ahead and take this center grommet. We're going to bring out some paracord. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to tie a bow line right here. There's plenty of videos that explain how to tie a bow line, so I'm not going to go through that. It's kind of hard to show it on camera. But we're going to put a bow line right here. So that way we're not going to tighten up. We're not going to slip. We're not going to slide. We've got a good solid knot. It's going to stay the diameter that I've tied it. We're going to take and see about how much we need to go around this tree. Cut this paracord. Now, I could burn the ends of all this paracord at this moment. I don't want to take the time on camera to do that. So for now, I'm just going to tie it in a knot so that it doesn't fray. We're going to go around the base of this tree right here. Also, we've got this little bit nicer tarp here. I'm just going to secure this with a timber hitch for easy takedown. And we've got this nice little tarp here. You know, you could do this with any just regular blue utility tarp. Now we see our paracord's all tangled, but we could still feed that out. That's one good thing with paracord. It's fairly slick. We can just feed it out and roll it back up when we're done. Not too interested in being real neat with that paracord at this moment. So now we've got our bottom tie. Now we need our forward tie here.